Time for another look at amazing medical gadgets. Scott Jung is here. He is the senior editor at Med Gadget. So I guess if I call it a gadget, it's okay.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. But some of these are much more serious than gadgets. Some aren't. I mean, some could be life-saving.
Definitely.
And we're really in this era of the quantified self where we just have all sorts of buzzers and whistles and stuff. This first one is hysterical. It's called the Spire. Tell me about this.
Yeah, so it looks like a rock on a coaster, but this is actually a wearable that you put on your belt or on your bra, and it tracks your breathing. So it's got a little pressure sensor in it that I can demonstrate
Well,
for
and
you.
that was one of the problems I had with it is it's uncomfortable as heck because this sits inside. You know, so you put this on your underpants or whatever, and this has to touch your tummy, right?
Exactly.
So I felt like there was, yes, a rock pressed against my tummy, but it does measure breathing pretty accurately.
It does measure breathing
I'm pushing
very
this so you
accurately.
can see on the readout, it's going up and down as I'm breathing. So what's the idea of measuring breathing?
Well, you know, breathing, it's a good indicator of your mental state. You know, deeper breathing helps you calm down a little bit.
Right.
And Spire says that the average person, you know, is only physically active 14% of the day, so they claim that this takes care of the other 86%.
So this isn't a fitness belt thing like a Fitbit. This measures the opposite.
Exactly. Yeah, when you're not.
And it
fitness.
gives you notifications. It says, okay, and it gives you like mindfulness notifications, like okay, take a deep breath, enjoy life. I like the idea, and boy, I have to say the packaging is beautiful. I love the cork. This is the charger, right?
Yes.
So,
yep.
Yeah, and it sits there like that.
Yeah, wireless charging, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spire. Now this was a Kickstarter, and what's your sense of it? Has it taken off, or is this kind of also ran at this point?
You know, I think it's an interesting concept. I think the concept of breathing in your health is something that's a little bit harder to
we
kind
don't
of
measure.
grasp.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think if people see the value in tracking such a thing, you know, it could definitely take off.
Spire, S-P-I, like Respire, only without the re.
Yep.
S-P-I-R-E. And about how much is that, Scott?
This is $149.
Okay, all right. I think it's nice to have a life coach say, take a breath every once in a while.
Definitely calm down a little bit.
Thing. What else?
So the next one, this is a device called Nema. And this device, what you can do is it can track the amount of glucose in your food. So say you're at a restaurant and you've got glucose sensitivity, like a real glucose allergy. Take a little bit of food, you're gonna put it in this little capsule here. All the chemistry is done in this little capsule here. Oops.
Is it glucose or gluten?
I'm sorry, gluten.
Oh, good.
Gluten sensitivity, yeah.
Yeah,
It is a real.
Yeah, because so glucose is something diabetics would be interested in, but there are a lot of people who have or think they have gluten sensitivities. They would love to know if there's gluten in the food. How accurate is this?
It's very accurate. It can detect if there is more than 20 parts per million of gluten, which is the FDA standard for gluten. So you just
Now,
stick
does
it
the
in here.
FDA have to approve stuff like this or not?
When it comes to food, I think that's kind of more of a gray area.
Right. It's not like it's not giving medical advice. It's just telling you whether there's gluten in it.
Right, right.
And I understand this same company is working on something that will have a test for peanuts, which would be very valuable for people with peanut allergy.
Yeah, they just received an NIH grant to develop the sensor for peanut allergies.
Right.
And dairy is also down the road as well.
How much is the Nema?
So this is available for pre-order now for $199. So it's a little bit expensive, but of course it's a new technology, so we're hoping that the price will go down. And of course these extra capsules will cost extra.
Oh yeah, you'll have to get capsules. Oh, and look, it has apparently your finger has gluten in it because it was doing a frowny face. So do you stick it in the food? Show me again.
Yeah.
Or you put food in it?
You put food in here, so this is the testing capsule.
Oh, and I
unscrew the top here. Take a little dab of food. It does drink as well. The only thing it doesn't do is alcohol, so put food or drink in the bottom here. Screw it on.
Wow.
It pushes the food or the drink
down into
the bottom where all the chemistry is done.
Gluten. I can imagine if this technology is extendable to other kinds of things. You know, I'd love to be able to measure the glucose in my food, or yeah, this one has apparently got some bad gluten in there. Stay away. No, bad.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so useful because, I mean, otherwise you're going against the word of the chefs or the waiters at restaurants or, you know, any contamination they might have with other foods. So it's definitely useful to really quantify the amount of gluten.
That's Nima from 6 Sensor Labs. And then finally we have this.
This device is called the VitalPatch. And this is meant for elderly people or people who have just been discharged from the hospital.
Okay.
Say maybe your grandma, she's starting to feel symptomatic, lightheaded, dizzy, and they go to the ER and they just can't figure out what's going on. They can put this VitalPatch on grandma, take her home, and monitor her statistics and see, what might be going on.
What does it monitor?
So it monitors your EKG, which is the electrical activity in your heart.
Wow.
It can monitor your heart rates. You can monitor a metric called your heart rate variability, which is an indicator for a lot of different health things. Your respiratory rate, your skin temperature. It also has an accelerometer, so it can detect your posture and it can detect if you fall.
Well, now, where would Grandma put this?
She's going to put it on her chest, kind of near her heart.
So it can measure the heart rate.
Exactly.
Kind of like a chest strap for working out. VitalPatch. Wow. Now, this obviously does have FDA approval, or needs FDA approval.
Yeah, it does have FDA approval.
Yeah.
And the really cool thing about this patch, Leo, is they're also using this for drug research. They'll give subjects drugs and they'll put the patch on and they'll see if it affects their other vital signs. So it's
Very
good for
interesting.
research as well.
Right. Very interesting. So it's a little portable EKG. That's kind of amazing. Love to see this developed into something that we could wear day in, day out to talk to our smartphones. VitalPatch. And how much is that? I guess that's your insurance pays for this one.
Yeah, this is given through a doctor, so that depends on insurance.
By prescription. Well, that's great. Scott Jung is a MedTech reporter, a senior editor at Med Gadget, and every time you come by, you bring some interesting stuff. It feels like making progress in this area, right?
It's getting there.
Especially this gluten monitor. I think that's basically a chemistry lab in a box. That's exactly pretty interesting, yeah. I could see a lot of application for that. Thanks, Scott. Great to see you.